Hello guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome to Into the 99. I'm Lotus for yet another episode of Brewing It Live, where we brew a deck from scratch with chat. And Han, don't forget Han.
Hi,
Well,
I'm Han, don't forget me.
We don't brew with you, you just seem to just make it go wild.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
If you make me mill this deck again...
No, we don't need to mill in this deck.
Fair, okay. So
we just need to cast lots of spells.
Today, we are brewing Yusri Fortune's Flame. A 1 blue-red Efreet, a 2/3 flyer that whenever it attacks, choose a number between 1 and 5. Flip that many coins. For each flip you win, draw a card. For each flip you lose, it deals 2 damage to you. If you won 5 flips this way, you may cast spells from your hand this turn without paying their mana cost.
Yeah.
It's going to be a flipping good time. Stream's over.
You went there.
Stream's over.
You went there.
I did go there. Now,
alrighty. I'll let you have it.
I just want to mention one card, because this is the card I want to win with.
What card do you want to win with? Okay.
I want to win with Chance Encounter.
Yes. It is a good card indeed.
The rest of the deck doesn't... Well, as long as there's coin flipping going on, I don't mind. But Chance Encounter is the win con of my preference. 2 red enchantment. Whenever you would win a flip, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game.
Evening Ashen, and yes, go for it. Kamigawa away.
Oh, we're going straight to Kamigawa.
As per usual.
Of course, it wouldn't be Ashen without a Kamigawa suggestion, at least.
Yeah, well, you know. So, what does Yusri want to do, Lotus?
He wants to attack and flip coins and cast spells for free.
Yep, sounds good. So, attack, flip coins, cast spells for free. Okay. Yeah. Just making sure.
Well, we're in red, we're in blue. So we're in blue for spell casting and red for attacking. Seems good for me.
So Ashen says Tide of War. Ooh. And we have a instant suggestion with... So gotta run the Thumbless from Occasion. So I believe that refers to Krark the Thumbless.
Krark is amazing. So do you want to read Tides of War while I get that other one?
Sure. So Tide of War, let me pull it up real quick. Tide of War, 4 red for a Kamigawa enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures blocks, flip a coin. If you win the flip, the defending player sacrifices all blocking creatures. Just all of them. Otherwise, the attacking player sacrifices the blocked creatures.
Seems
so
good.
The blocking creatures or the blocked creatures, the ones that you have attacked with, essentially. So yeah, flip a coin. Yeah, let's go ahead and... This is on block, declare blocker step, and once it blocks, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so it's not on declare attacks. It'll be after blockers are declared and once they are blocked. Nice.
And then we have Krark the Thumbless. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return that spell to its owner's hand. If you win the flip, copy that spell. You choose new targets for the copy. And the artifact that you're thinking of is Krark's Thumb.
Yes. So, Occasion, Krark's Thumb, named after Krark the Thumbless, is a 2-mana legendary artifact. If you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 coins and ignore 1. So the odds of you going and winning your coin flips go up dramatically. Ashen says, note it's not just your attacked. If, say, opponent attacks opponent 3, it'll trigger there too. Okay, so on other attackers and blockers as well.
Nice. And
Yeah.
I believe that Krark's thumb was the first thumb that he bet. Then he bet his second thumb, and then he bet his third thumb, wherever that came from. And then he went to Mirrodin to win a bet to get his thumbs back. But when he came back, he was hung for treason.
Interesting. I did not know any of that.
Yeah, and then he started
all
the
I
cult
know,
of Krark.
on a complete side note, all I know is that Krark's thumb, every time I watch Jujutsu Kaisen, that thumb that he eats just looks like that every single time. That's what it reminds me of. However, yeah. Creation says, wonder if you'd go big spells on the off chance you get win on 5 flips, like throw in omniscience for the heck of it. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're essentially doing omniscience off of Yusri, but let's throw in omniscience right now.
Okay.
'Cause
If it
that
wasn't,
sounds like a fantastic idea.
I think you would suggest it if it wasn't suggested. To be
Oh,
honest,
I don't know what you're talking about. It was already suggested.
you crossing it off your list.
No, I'm not crossing off anything. I still got my full list. Anyhow, Ashen says bad typing there, but yeah, hope you get the idea. Yeah, we got it. So, yeah, we're definitely throwing omniscience in equation because that is what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to cast spells for free, as Lotus said. You know, part 3 of what Yusri wants to do. Let's do more of it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to flip coins.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we got that covered with Krark's thumb. So let's talk about the mechanics of Yusri for a moment. So for each flip you win, you get to draw cards. We also like drawing cards. But for
Okay.
each flip you lose, you deal 2 damage to you. Okay, so we want to draw cards.
Yep.
As a side factor, that's just going to be great for if we win 5. However, the losing a flip seems like a bad thing initially, right? Because it's going to deal 2 damage to us for each flip.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but every single time I attack with Yusri, I'm declaring 5. I don't care.
Seems fair.
Would you agree? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm planning on doing. I don't know about you if I'm running Yusri. So to counterbalance the Yusri dealing 2 damage to you, if you equip Lifelink to Yusri, you can negate that entirely. So
Lifelink.
one of the ways,
That's
yeah,
white.
so one of the ways that no, it's not. I would like to
Lifelink.
throw a Shadow Spear in.
Oh. There's a card called Lifelink.
You're a judge. I'm talking about the mechanic, not Lifelink the card. Come on now. So yeah, so Shadow Spear is one of the ways that we're gonna give Lifelink. So once Yusri is equipped with a Shadow Spear, for example, it now becomes a 2/3 flying with trample and Lifelink. Oh wait, no, +1/+1. So it's a 3/4 with flying, trample, Lifelink. And anytime these coin flips deals damage, it's Yusri dealing damage. Therefore, the 2 damage to me is now 2 damage of Lifelink. So there's no downside any longer.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. You were also saying about card draw, and I noticed that Ashen has also mentioned the 2 cards, which used to be my old commanders. Zender Split. So
And
Zender Split,
Okone.
yeah. So they search each other because they partner with each other. So
Right.
Zender Split, the Eye of Wisdom, is 4 and a blue for a homunculus, a 1/4. At the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
So we could draw
And
more cards.
right. And Okune, Eye of Chaos, is 4 and a red for a legendary Cyclops Berserker, the partner with 3/3. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, double Okune's power and toughness until end of turn.
Yeah.
So we have Zinder Split and
Oh.
Okune both on the field. If we do, they both have at the beginning of combat, you flip a coin until you lose a flip. So that's 2 separate triggers.
Yep. And then you also have the flip 5 coins from our commander.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
On attack. Not at the beginning of combat. Yep.
No, but it will still trigger.
Right. So up to 5 coin flips with all 3 of these guys on the field. Yep.
It's gonna get nasty.
So let's go back to your win con. So the chance encounter. Whenever you win a coin flip, put a luck counter, and you only need 10.
Yep.
But we're flipping 7 coins just with these 3. In theory, if we have them all out. Yep.
Yep. I kind of liking it. Even if we had Tides of War and we lost our board, that'd be 8.
So one other thing that I want to go into before we continue on with some of the suggestions in chat, because Yusri will now deal 2 damage to us, and we also want to draw cards for all these. One of the cards that just seemed perfect in my eyes was an Alhammarit's Archive. So now, Alhammarit's Archive, if we have this out on the field, if you would gain life, you gain twice that much life instead. If you would draw a card except the first one you draw in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. So now, for 5 mana for this artifact, Yusri will now, if we lose a coin flip, we'll actually gain 2 life net. And if we draw cards, we'll draw 2 each.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And also,
I'm glad you like it.
As Zayan also said, the artifact that gains life for cards in upkeep, which is, as Ashen says, Venser's Journal.
Yep.
If we're
So
going to be
Venser's
drawing
Journal.
that many cards.
Oh, absolutely. So go ahead and read off Venser's Journal. I love this card so much. It got reprinted in, I believe it was the Witherbloom deck.
But it's 5
Yeah.
colorless for an artifact. You have no maximum hand size, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you gain 1 life card in your hand. That can get out of hand very quickly.
But it's supposed to be in your hand.
And you said my joke at the beginning was bad.
Hey, you started it. So we like being able to cast spells.
Yes.
So Accretion says you could actually throw a curiosity effect on him as well and just win the game. Curiosity to what end, Accretion? Just so I understand. Because Yusri will deal damage to us. Curiosity, I believe, triggers off of, if I'm not mistaken, it's when you deal damage to an opponent. No?
Whenever enchanted creature deals damage to an opponent, you may draw a card.
Yeah. Yep. So, in theory, I would love that. However, yeah, if we just gain life off of that, and if we're just trying to flip 5 coins and win them all, and then just start casting spells for free from our hand, why not have an Aetherflux Reservoir? If we're gaining 2 life net from Alhammarit's, this is Christmas Dreamland for me.
Just a little
we
bit.
have a 4-mana artifact, Alhammarit's Archive, a Shadow Spear, Yusri. But you know what? I'm going to live the dream, and I'm going to go for it. So
no, we're not in green for ramp, right?
we don't need it. We've
but
got other ways of generating mana. Don't you worry.
Ashen is correct. With Ral Zarek. This one is a very good Planeswalker for this deck. 2 blue and red. For a legendary Planeswalker Ral, +1. Tap target permanent, then untap another permanent. -2, deal 3 damage to any target. -7, flip 5 coins, take an extra turn after this. Take an extra turn after this for 1. Let me reread that again. Take an extra turn after this one for each coin that comes up heads. Because it's on the next line, it throws you a little bit.
There you go.
I can speak.
Flip 5 coins, take an extra turn for each.
And then Stitched in Time.
Potentially
the other
win
one.
5. Potentially win 5 of those and get 5 extra turns. Yeah, could be pretty fantastic. Yeah, Stitched in Time, I quite like as well. So Stitch in Time is 1 blue and a red for a sorcery that reads flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn after this one.
Yeah.
We want to flip coins. We want to take extra turns. Do it again. Yep, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Now, I'm just wondering what spells we want to cast for free from our hand.
Oh, okay. We're going with that first? Sure.
No. I'm just wondering because you wanted to cast spells for free because you said you had a ramp package to get us to these expensive cards. So I'm kind of curious to see how you're going to get there.
Oh, sure. So one of the more popular ones currently is we have Jessica's Will. So Jessica's Will is 2 and a red for a sorcery. Choose one. If you control a commander, as you cast a spell, you may choose both. Add 1 for each card in target opponent's hand, and exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. So card advantage with Yusri out, and pick a target opponent and add that much red mana.
Come to think about it,
Mhm.
what is that mana rock that flips a coin?
Mana rock that flips a coin.
Is it Mana Crypt or Mana Vault? I can never remember.
Mana Crypt.
I know it's expensive, and I know we try not to do cards that are expensive, but
Yep,
it
but it
says
says
flip a
flip a
coin.
coin.
It literally says flip a coin. At the beginning of your
Yeah, we
upkeep,
can't.
flip a coin. If you lose the flip, it deals 3 damage to you. Add double
Yeah,
colorless. But
we can't put Lifelink on Mana Crypt, unfortunately.
no, but we're flipping a coin in our upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah, seems great.
I
There's tons of other effects that do that as well, by the way.
oh, I know. On the subject of cards draw, Squeeze Revenge.
Hey, Jojo.
Squeeze
Jojo.
Revenge. That
Yeah.
one. 1 blue red sorcery. Choose a number. Flip a coin that many times until you lose a flip, whichever comes first. If you win all the flips, draw 2 cards for each flip. Okay.
Jojo has a suggestion as well. What about Boom Pile?
That sounds very goblin-esque. I'm kind of liking it.
Oh yeah, it's right in the flavor text. I'll read the artifact while you read the flavor text. Boom Pile is 4 mana for an artifact. It taps and flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy all non-land permanents.
Fuses? We have more than enough. Now, which one was it? The one-eyed goblin engineer. Wow.
Wonder how they lost the eye.
No idea.
No idea at all. Yep.
Now,
So, go ahead.
I've been toying with putting this card in because I was playing an Sender Split and Oaken deck,
Mm-hmm.
and I countered my own win con with this card.
Ooh,
And
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I kind of want to put it in.
Do
And
it.
okay, Planar Chaos.
Oh, okay. Not the one I was thinking of, but also equally frightening.
Yeah, 2 and a red for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, sacrifice Planar Chaos. Whenever a player casts a spell, that player flips a coin. If they lose the flip, counter that spell. Who needs blue mana to counter spells?
Lotus, I hate to break it to you, but we're running blue.
Fine, we'll just put a stifle underneath an Isochron Scepter. We'll be
Sure. No, I thought somehow you did this with Possibility Storm, and I was gonna say no, bad, but
no. Planar Chaos, it's
now,
worse.
so something that I wanted to do with casting for free with Yusri.
Hmm.
Why not? Why does it have to be our spells? Why not others' spells? What do you think of Stolen Strategy? So, just for some spice, if we win 5 flips, we can also cast our opponent's cards. So, 4 and a red for an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until the end of turn, you may cast non-land cards from among those exiled cards. And you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells.
I hate to break it to you, but it's casting from your hand.
Oh, well, we still have plenty of ways. Like I said, just we're gonna do Jessica's Will and stuff to go ahead and cast.
There.
Or cast some free mana. So yeah, if we have Omniscience out, we can still do it.
Yep.
However,
Jojo Chance Encounter was the first card I suggested because I want to win this way. And yes, don't worry that it's already in the deck. I like where you're going.
It's a great one. So another one to go ahead and get us there mana wise. I love this card. I've run it before in a couple of decks. Mana Geyser just does so much work. Mana Geyser is 3 red red for a sorcery. Add a red for each tapped land your opponents control. So with 3 opponents on turn 5, if they have all tapped out, this could potentially net you 15 mana, and that's not if they haven't ramped up with green doing explosive vegetations and such.
That's true.
Yes, please.
Okay, I can see that. Now,
And go ahead.
I know you like copying things with Sakashima.
Oh, I wasn't even going there, but we can talk about that. Sure.
So we may need to do the Sakashima route because we're going to need more creatures eventually. How about something that makes more creatures as well? Like
Sure. What are you thinking?
Mirror March.
Yes, please.
So
Who doesn't like flipping all the coins?
yeah, 5 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose. For each flip you won, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those tokens gain haste and exile them at the beginning of the next end step.
Yep. And we like haste. We want to swing with all these copies. Yep. 100%.
Oh, Fiery Gambit from JoJo.
Yeah, JoJo says Fiery Gambit. I believe this was reprinted in Mystery Booster. I think I have one from that actually somewhere.
It was a foil.
Yep. 2 and a red for a sorcery. Flip a coin until you lose a flip. We like that. Or choose to stop flipping. No, we're going to keep flipping. If you lose a flip, Fiery Gambit has no effect. If you win 1 or more flips, Fiery Gambit deals 3 damage to target creature. If you win 2 or more flips, Fiery Gambit deals 6 damage to each opponent. If you win 3 or more flips, draw 9 cards and untap all lands you control.
I like that.
Yep, we're going for 3 every time. So I believe that this deck is heavily in favor of keeping Krark's Thumb around, correct?
It helps.
It helps a lot. So my thought was we really want Krark's Thumb out, and we really want to protect it. So a card that does both, Muddle the Mixture. So Muddle the Mixture is two blue for an instant. You can counter target instant or sorcery spell. So if anybody goes to remove it, you can Muddle the Mixture. However, it also has the ability to transmute. So pay 1 blue and a blue and discard this card. You get to search your library for a card with the same mana value as this card, which is 2. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. You can play that only as a sorcery. However, if you want to go find Krark's Thumb, this card will do it for you. And in the meantime, if you already have it out, yeah, we can go ahead and protect it.
Like that. Enough transmute these days.
Yeah, transmute could always do with more of those.
Yeah.
Other things to protect Krark's Thumb for me, these are just lands that are just very nice to have. Buried Ruin, Academy Ruins, both of which that are just fantastic in putting the artifact from our graveyard on top of our library. Or in case of Buried Ruin, it'll go to our hand.
Yep. Seems good.
Yep. Inventor's Fair is also a fantastic one as well for the land slot. Inventor's Fair is a legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Tap to add a colorless to your mana pool. 4 and tap, sacrifice Inventor's Fair, search your library for an artifact, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. So yeah.
Seems good. So basically, Krark's Thumb is going to be our secret commander.
Yep. It is an all-star in the deck for sure. It's the same with Ginger Split and Okun. Ashen says Witch's Clinic will be good with Yusri as well while we're on the topic of lands. So Witch's Clinic, tap to add a colorless, 2 and tap, target commander gains lifelink, which yeah, Yusri, as we discussed earlier, we want to give it lifelink.
Yeah.
Jojo also says Game of Chaos. I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh,
But it sounds chaosy.
it's the coin flip one. So it's 3 red. So it's red, red, red for a sorcery. Flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while the coin is in the air. The loser of the flip loses 1 life. The winner of the flip gains 1 life, and may choose to repeat the process, double the stakes each time.
Ooh, okay.
And more often than not, if we've got Krark's Thumb out, we're going to be winning. I'd hope.
Always winning.
And then
We're
doubling the
playing
stakes.
Yusri.
Yeah. And also, Ashen has mentioned impulsive maneuvers.
Mm-hmm. So impulsive maneuvers. Let's see here. We have 2 red red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks, flip a coin. If you win the flip, next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, it doubles that damage instead. If you lose the flip, the next time that creature would deal combat damage this turn, prevent that damage. Ooh, okay.
Whenever a creature attacks.
Yep.
All spicy.
So it doesn't have to be ours. Spicy. I like it. And it gives us a lot of coin flipping.
It does.
Yep,
I'm getting terrified about what this is becoming, and I like it. Now, there is a card that is on the reserve list.
Uh-oh, we're going to reserve list already.
It's not too... Well, it wasn't too expensive the last time I did look at it. I'm trying to remember its full name. Is it Fickle Efreet? Phonetic Efreet. So this card is 1 blue red for a 2/1 flyer. And for 0, flip a coin. Target opponent calls heads or tails while the coin is in the air. If the flip ends up in your favor, Phonetic Efreet phases out. Otherwise, sacrifice it.
Oh, interesting.
Gone up to $16. So this was a janky rare, but it is reserve list. I'd probably recommend picking them up because I think reserve list cards are just going to keep going up. Magic's 25 plus years old, or 25-ish years old. These cards, as much as we don't like the reserve list, sometimes it might be worth picking up these silly cards before they get too expensive.
Yeah, that seems fair. So, one of the cards that I really found and liked a lot was a card called Mana Clash. Mana Clash is a single red for a sorcery. You and target opponent each flip a coin. Mana Clash deals 1 damage to each player whose coin comes up tails. Repeat this process until both players' coins come up heads on the same flip.
And if we've got Krark's Thumb, we can choose not to have a head.
Right. Yeah. If the other person happens to have a heads come up and we have a heads come up, but we also have a tails come up, we can just continue this process.
It's funny. I love it.
Yeah.
Scotia Worm, says Jojo.
Ooh, Scoria Worm.
Scoria Worm?
And
Scotia Worm?
Move.
So
Scoria Worm.
Scoria Worm, 4 and a red for a 7/7 worm. At the beginning of your upkeep, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, return it to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
I mean, a 5 mana 7/7's pretty sweet. But it's
5
still...
mana 7/7 is good.
Yeah. And the other one was a risky move.
Yeah.
This whole
3
deck...
red.
It feels
3
like this whole deck.
red for an enchantment. I mean, for the namesake alone, right? 3 red for an enchantment. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of risky move. Oh, we're passing this around. When you gain control of risky move from another player, choose a creature you control and an opponent. Flip a coin. If you lose the flip, that opponent gains control of that creature.
Ooh.
Okay, okay. I see you. I see you. I like this.
See, all these cards were out and about when I first started playing Magic, because this is Onslaught, where I actually first started. And these were the cards that were generally in circulation.
Oh yeah.
And make sure you hydrate, huh?
I just did.
Good. Um,
Uh, so I also noticed that we also need to be able to attack with Yusri, right?
sure.
That's one of the conditions for being able to choose this number. So I like to do this immediately as soon as we drop this commander, whether it's the first time, second time, third time, fourth time, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So how about some haste enablers? One of the more fantastic ones for this deck that is kind of a little not as obvious would be Dragon Tempest. So, Dragon Tempest is 1 and a red for an enchantment. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste until end of turn. So,
Okay.
Yusri will gain haste immediately.
Yeah.
And any other flyers that we have will also gain haste immediately, which I quite like.
So ignore the second line of text that affects dragons. We're just using it for flying haste.
Yep. I mean,
Okay.
we can probably throw some dragons in, but if we get there, we get there. But I'll use it just for the flying haste immediately. Some of the other ones I was thinking of were things like Fervor. Creatures you control have haste. This is 2 and a red for the enchantment that does that.
Creatures you control have haste. I mean, if we're going to go with that, we just might as well put both in.
Yeah. For now, let's go ahead and just do both. I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. Now, two-headed
We
giant.
have.
Oh, yes.
Oof. I love this. This one was in Dominaria.
No.
I remember.
Oh, it
Well,
was. I was
okay. There
thinking
was
Battle
a
Bond.
version.
I was
There
thinking.
was a version in. Yeah. So Dominaria was the first set that I ever started doing pre-releases. This is a card that I saw in limited all the time, and yeah,
Why did
this one
I?
did some work.
Why did I think this was Battle Bond?
Mm.
Two-headed giant. It is from Dominaria. I'm completely wrong and off my rocker. 2 red for a giant warrior 4/4. Whenever two-headed giant attacks, flip 2 coins. If both come up heads, two-headed giant gains double strike to end of turn. If both coins up tails, two-headed giant gains menace to it.
Oh, and we can manipulate that with a Kark's Thumb. I love it.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sure there was a card in. I'm going mad. Don't worry.
Okay. So one other thing that I really liked to do in Yusri, since we're trying to attack as soon as possible with haste,
Yeah.
one of the other things that I really liked doing is potentially the idea of being able to attack multiple times with Yusri and try to get that going even more often than once per turn. Not even
Okay.
just having multiple turns, but just multiple combat steps. So cards such as Aggravated Assault will do it. So 2 and a red for an enchantment that has the activated ability of 3 red red, untap all creatures you control. After this main phase, there's an additional combat phase, followed by an additional main phase. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery.
Ooh.
And this is a pet card of mine, but the other way I wanted to do it was just Morog, Fury of Akum.
I was waiting for that.
Pet card of mine. Brian and a lot of other people on this channel know that I love running Morog. 4 red red for a legendary Minotaur warrior. It's a 6/6, and each creature you control gets +1/+0 for each time it has attacked this turn. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's your main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase. At the beginning of that combat, untap all creatures you control. We're not a huge landfall deck, but just play a land and go ahead and get an extra combat step. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Now, if you're doing multiple combat steps and you
Hmm.
want to attack with your commander a lot, but you don't want to really lose it to, say, a big flying dragon,
Okay.
what about Dolmen's Gate?
Oh, you are in love with that card.
I do, but prevent all combat damage that be dealt to attacking creatures we control. If we are designing our deck to attack the flip coins, not to do damage, we
Right.
need to protect it, and I feel that this card needs some love.
Sure.
And
Yeah, let's go
yeah,
ahead and throw Dolmen's Gate in here. I like that. I don't mind that at all.
I would put
Yeah, Shadow
Reconnaissance
Spear will
in.
only give +1/+1.
Yeah. Some gnarly
So
cards. Hey, Benson. Bludgeon Brawl to put his thumb back on.
this sounds like something that came out of uh, the one-horned troll killer, Bludgeon Brawl.
Bludgeon Brawl, 2 and a red enchantment. Each non-creature, non-equipment artifact is an equipment with X, where X is and equipped creature gets +X/+0, where X is the artifact's converted mana cost. I'm actually liking that for flavor. We can actually equip Krark's Thumb to
Yeah.
Krark.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually funny. I love that. Oh,
Jojo says Chaotic Goo as a suggestion.
I remember that one, but I can't remember what it does.
Chaotic Goo, 2 red for an ooze creature. Chaotic Goo comes into play with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. It is a 0/0 inherently. During your upkeep, you may flip a coin. If you win the flip, add a +1/+1 counter to Chaotic Goo. Remove a +1/+1 counter from it, if otherwise.
You got that.
So, if you win the flip, so this has to be this triggered flip, correct? Not multiple flips, period?
Yeah. It's this physical upkeep flip.
Correct. That could be amazing.
I know. However, there is a card that I think goes similar line to it.
Oh,
So it's called Carpos Lucen Minotaur. So
okay.
it's 2 red for a Minotaur Warrior 3/3. It has cumulative upkeep. Flip a coin.
Oh God. Okay.
Yep.
So
Whenever
we're
you
flipping multiple.
Yes, we are. Whenever
Love
you
it.
win a coin flip, whenever you win a coin flip, this deals 1 damage to target creature or player, which has been errated to any target. Whenever
Oh,
you
okay.
lose a coin flip, it deals 1 damage to any target of an opponent's choice.
Okay. So this is perfect because Yusri is very similar to Yusri. Anytime it's dealing damage, if we equip this creature too with a Shadow Spear or anything else that gives lifelink, yeah, we can go ahead and get some of that life back. I love it. It works.
Yeah. It can get really out of hand as well.
Uh, Along those lines, I forgot to mention, let's go ahead and add some more life-linking artifacts just to kind of,
Okay.
for consistency's sake. Basilisk Collar seems great. And as well as, I will say, probably a Whisper Silk Cloak for both protection as well as lifelink.
So Basilisk Collar, 1 mana, 2 to equip. Equipped creature has Death Touch and Lifelink. Whisper Silk.
Which makes history interesting to block. Yep.
Whisper Silk Cloak doesn't have Lifelink.
Yeah, but it has Shroud.
Okay, that's fine. I was just checking that you knew
And
that.
and yeah, and it's can't be blocked, right? So at least it's
Yeah.
not going to get blocked and kind of does the Dolmen Gate thing. So
That's
I
fair.
wanted to throw that in as well.
Though I am quite a little bit disappointed that Tracy has not mentioned the Lord and Savior. Oh, we're not in those
What do you mean?
colours. That's why.
No, we're not. Of course not.
I just was like, doesn't Rakdos have a coin flip version? And then it didn't
Oh
twig that
yeah,
we're not in those colours.
showstopper.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're not in those colours. It's fine. Ignore me. I can magic.
That's fine. What do you think of uh since we're doing multiple spells, we like mana, we like all the things that entails. I think that Strixhaven All-Star Stormkiln Artist is probably a good one to add in here. 3 and a red for the Dwarf Shaman. Stormkiln Artist gets +1/+0 for each artifact you control, and it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, create a treasure token.
Yeah. Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Let me see. Yeah.
is a treasure token better than a mana? Yeah, because it can give us blue. Yeah. I was
Yep.
thinking of
It can give us
Bergie
blue.
instead, but no, I think I like this one better.
Oh, I mean Bergie. Yeah, let's throw Bergie in too. I don't see why not. If we have omniscience from 5 coin flips, or even just omniscience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
let's just.
whenever you cast a spell, add red. Until the end of turn, you don't lose mana as steps and phases end. Creatures you control can boast twice rather than one. I don't think, but the extra mana. And it costs 1 less as well. It's only 3 instead of the 4.
Yep. Uh, Chat. Any suggestions for any of the big spells we want to cast potentially with Yusri's omniscience ability or having omniscience out? Because I have a couple that I wanted to throw out there, but if you guys can think of a big one that's fun, hit us with it. I love it.
I mean,
In the meantime,
there is a spell that I was thinking of because you're going with Stolen Strategy. We're very chaotic.
okay.
I can't remember its name. Um, you carry on. I'm gonna dig through a commander deck I built and try and remember its name
Okay, sure.
because on
You're gonna have to
brewing,
do that while
yeah, because on
while I've got suggestions as well.
that's fine because on brewing it live, we don't have lists. We're literally brewing it live, so
Yeah,
I forget stuff.
that's fair.
Oh,
Uh,
I found it.
so oh, there we go. That wasn't long.
Reversal of Fortune.
Ooh, okay. What's that do?
So, Reversal of Fortune is a 4 red sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You may copy an instant or sorcery card in it and play the copy without paying its mana cost.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So, not only are we playing this for free, we're gonna play their stuff for free.
Interesting. Huh. Hey, Huntsman. The commander is Yusri, Fortune's Flame, Modern Horizons 2, the coin flip Omniscience.
Yep.
If you can think of any big spells, I've already asked everybody, like, if you have any suggestions, what do you want to cast for free? We're talking 7, 8 mana value and up. See what you got.
Yep.
So one of the things that I wanted to suggest here, what did you think of having things such as uh Omnispell Adept? This one came up a while back.
That the 3 mana
And
one.
no, it's 5.
I mean, it
4
has
and a
the
blue.
ability.
Yes.
Hmm.
So 4 and a blue for a 3/4 human wizard. For 2 and a blue and tap, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand without paying its mana cost.
I like that.
Yep. Seems good for anything that we have going on. Such as whatever chat's about to suggest.
Yeah.
um, Cards that I actually really liked as well to kind of go hand in hand with the instants and sorceries that we're casting. What do you think of effects such as Talrand Sky Summoner, token generating? So 2 blue for a Merfolk Wizard, 2/2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying.
Yeah.
Now, I particularly like this one in conjunction with our Dragon Tempest. Keep that in mind. They will
Ooh,
all have haste.
that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, you've tied it in quite nicely.
And what's our other favorite is it commander that creates flying tokens?
Scarab God?
No, that's the blue black one. We're talking locusts.
That's what I meant. I know my bugs.
So Locust God, red, blue, and 4. Flying 4/4 God also has haste. Whenever you draw a card, create a 1/1 blue and red insect creature token with flying and haste. Already has haste. Love it. 2 blue and a red, draw a card, then discard a card. When the Locust God dies, return it to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. So just bring it back. If we have Dragon Tempest out, Already has haste. Throw it back out there.
Yeah. Like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying
So
to.
I'll go ahead and start us off with a big spell, and it technically would not even replace any specific abilities, but any specific card slot rather. So let's get rid of one island for Seagate Restoration.
Okay.
4 blue, blue, blue for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. And on the flip side, it is a Bolt land, I will call it. Seagate Reborn. As it enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for a blue mana.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jojo.
Ooh.
After my own heart. Fiery Emancipation.
Oh. We're going big.
That's a particularly scary one. Not even just for us, actually. Not for our opponents rather, but for us as well, because Yusri could potentially deal damage. Hopefully, we have that lifelink that I mentioned earlier. Fire Emancipation, 3 red, red, red for an enchantment that I love. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. So Yusri will deal 2 damage, which becomes 6 damage to us for each coin flip we lose. Again, I really hope we have that lifelink.
I'm loving this. This is amazing. I'm trying to think of all the other cards that might go with this deck, and this one seems to be very weird, and I don't know if it's going to go in. I just want to talk about it.
Sure.
Crooked Scales.
What now?
So it's a 4 mana artifact with 4 and tap. Choose target
Okay.
creature you control and target creature an opponent controls. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy the creature the opponent controls. If you lose the flip, destroy the creature you control unless you pay 3 generic and reflip the coin.
Huh. I like it.
It's just weird. It was a
Oof,
card that I
Jojo.
just literally Googled and I was like, that's really cool. Creepy doll. Ooh.
Yep. We got Fiery Emancipation followed by Creepy Doll. Creepy Doll, 5 mana for an artifact creature construct. It is a 1/1 indestructible creature. Whenever Creepy Doll deals combat damage to a creature, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy that creature. Yeah. Indestructible. Makes us flip some coins. I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm all about this right now.
Be a great blocker.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right. We have approximately 15 cards. Have 15 creatures. And only 9 sorceries and 1 instant. Do we need to have more big payoff spells?
Yeah, I was throwing out to chat for some suggestions. I've got more, but what big things does chat want to do is what I'm interested in.
Fair. I'm...
If you have one, throw it out there.
It seems that everything... I kind of want to do more sorceries and instants, and I want to do more copy effects. But hang on, the Huntsman has said, if you're looking for consistent mana production, the new red spell, the Exile itself, is really good, but I can't remember
Oh
it.
yeah.
Um,
It's the refrain.
Brain?
Rousing refrain. Yep. So 3 red red for a sorcery. It was definitely in the Prismari precon. Yep. Huntsman. Add 1 red for each card in target opponent's hand. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Exile Rousing Refrain with 3 time counters on it. It has Suspend 3 for 1 in a red. Rather than cast this card from your hand, you may pay 1 in a red and exile it with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, I believe it's remove a time counter when
Yeah.
Yep, when the last counter is removed, exile it, or you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Yep.
So basically, to simplify this, you either cast it, and then in 3 turns you get to cast it again, and it will then recycle every 3 turns.
And that's why it's a refrain. I love it.
I love that one. Yeah, it was the Prismari one because it's all about they're very showy, so this is like an orchestra, so yeah, it must be the Prismari.
Yeah, the blue one is inspiring refrain if we wanted to look at that, but it's not the mana generation. That one's the draw cards. Inspiring refrain, 4 blue for a draw 2 cards, exile inspiring refrain with 3-time counters on it, suspend 3. It's suspend for 2 and a blue.
I mean,
Same effect.
or 2 cards every 3 turns. It seems
Yeah.
reasonable.
Sure. Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in for now. I'm less certain about that as far as I think we have a decent amount of card draw, just from Yusri as well as some other effects that we have going on. But yeah, we can put that in for now for sure.
Okay, I'm just looking at a card
Jojo
that
says,
yeah, Arc Blade. I'm just looking at it now.
Mhm.
3 red, Arc Blade deals 2 damage to any target. Exile it with 3-time counters on it. Yeah, so we can shock every 3 turns.
yeah,
I like that. Any spell that you put mana in and just constantly comes back every so often for free is good in my books.
yep. So
Yeah.
I quite like those. If we want to search for any of these, one of the more fantastic cards that came out of Strixhaven was Solve the Equation. I really like that card a lot. It's 2 and a blue for a sorcery that lets you search your library for an instant or sorcery card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle.
I reckon that this is one of those under the radar uncommons that a couple of years from now will suddenly go up in price. So I'd reckon grab a few.
Yeah, I mean, it's an instant or sorcery card that you tutor for. It's not bad at all.
It's exactly the same as, is it Merchant's? It's Merchant Scroll. Merchant Scroll was 1 and a blue. Search your library for a blue instant card. And that's nearly $10.
Yep.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
would say the Solve the Equation is a card to look out for, keep hold of.
Yeah, I mean, 1 more mana, right? But it has no restrictions on color or even being a sorcery. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty great. Um, let's go ahead. I want to suggest one. If we don't have it already, let me just double check. Oh, no, we do. Let's
Oh.
see here. Okay. Toothy, imaginary friend.
Ooh.
Who doesn't like Toothy, right? Nobody needs Peer. We just need Toothy. Toothy, imaginary friend, is 3 and a blue for a legendary creature. It's a 1/1 illusion. Partner with Peer, imaginative rascal, which for the purposes of this deck we don't care about. However, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Toothy, imaginary friend. When Toothy leaves the battlefield, draw a card for each +1/+1 counter on it.
I like the fact that it says when it leaves the battlefield. Doesn't care how.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. And if we've got Zender Split, and other things like that, that's gonna get a really big and draw us lots of cards.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I like that one.
How are we doing on cards, by the way?
How we doing? We are 90 cards.
Ooh,
Doing too
Ashen
bad.
suggesting Niv Mizzet Perun.
Niv Mizzet Perun.
Blue, red. For Niv Mizzet 5/5 flyer. This spell can't be countered. It's a dragon wizard. Ooh, we have a dragon.
Wait.
Whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet Perun deals 1 damage to any target. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, you draw a card. Yeah. It's a
Now,
dragon, so Dragon Tempest has flying, so it will have haste.
yeah, going back to Azan's option of Curiosity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, if we put Curiosity on Niv Mizzet, that does kill the board.
It does. The
So-
board. It just,
Kills everything. So,
I mean, equal to the number of cards we have in our library, I suppose.
I mean, it can do enough. I'm going to put it in because now we actually have a way to utilize that suggestion. So I'm quite happy to go back and say
Sure. Jojo is suggesting fighting chance.
fighting.
So fighting chance. Yeah. It's 1 red for an instant. For each blocking creature, flip a coin. If you win the flip, that creature deals no combat damage this turn.
I remembered this one. I literally traded this off of a friend 2 days ago. Not that I'm trying to build this deck.
No, of course not. Ashen says, "Do we have any lab man effects in here? We seem to draw a lot."
Not
I mean,
yet.
we could win that way, I suppose.
I mean, I don't think a Thassa Oracle is the way I want to go with this. So,
No, I wouldn't do Thassa.
do we want Jace instead?
Jace would not be a bad way to go,
Um,
especially if we can get him out for free with Yusri, something like that. Which Jace? It's Wielder of Mysteries, I believe.
ah, been so many.
Yep. And I believe I need to change this from Japanese in order to be able to read it. Jace Wielder of Mysteries. So 1 blue, blue, blue for a legendary planeswalker, Jace. Comes in with 4 loyalty counters. If you would draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. +1 ability is target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard and draw a card. We like drawing cards.
Yep.
Ultimate -8, draw 7 cards. And if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. So yeah, Jace is our labman effect. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. And if we don't get to win by that way, it's just card draw.
Yep. One of the big payoffs that I'm going to suggest here, you guys can all deny this one if you guys want, but how about Enter the Infinite? Why not? 8 blue, 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 blue. So 12 mana value for a sorcery. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn.
Cool. So. Cool.
Ashen is agreeing with me. This cannot be a bad idea, right?
Okay. I mean, this deck is complete chaos, so. Sure. Sure. Omnispell Adept. Yep.
Yep, Jojo, I got it in there from. I remembered your earlier suggestion in one of the other Brewin It Lives, and that one was for you. Omnispell Adept is already right here.
Yeah. Oh,
I got you covered.
how many spells a turn are we going to cast?
Depends on how many we can draw.
So, 1,000 Years Storm.
Ooh, interesting.
I don't know if it's going to be any good, but it's 4 blue red for an enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant sorcery spell you've cast before this turn. So it's
Sure.
basically all your instant sorcery have Storm. However, we've only got 14 sorceries and 2 instants. I don't feel it's quite there.
Yeah.
But Ashen's recommending Zaffi.
I don't remember what Zaffi is.
Zaffi the Thunder Conductor, or Collector, or however the two things
However
work.
they intentionally meant it, right?
Yeah. So it's a 2 blue red for a human shaman, 1/4 with Magecraft. When you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, scry 1. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. If that spell's mana value is 10 or greater, Zaffi Thunder Conductor or Collector deals 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random.
Okay. Well, we don't have that many 10 plus as of right now, right? We have Omniscience, we have Enter the Infinite.
Yeah.
So
I think that's more of an X spell command.
I believe so as well. That's my hot take on it, however. Um, yeah. I feel like we have a lot of creatures for a deck that wants to cast a lot of things. I don't disagree that all of these are pretty good effects,
I
but
mean,
we are definitely lacking in some instance.
the Yuzori only cares if it's a spell, so it doesn't have to be an instant or sorcery.
Right, but we still have to get to that
Yeah.
5 flips, right? So, okay. I was just thinking that, my line of thought was we have an Omnispell Adept that's casting our sorceries for free and things of that nature, so maybe that. Jojo says maybe a couple of counter spells. What do you think of? I quite like Reinterpret. This was one of the newer ones in the Prismari deck. Reinterpret. Yep. So 2 blue and a red for an instant. Counter target spell. You may cast a spell with equal or lesser mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost.
Okay. I like that.
And for myself, one of the ones I really like, especially if we're in is Counterflux. Uh, Counterflux. Blue, blue, and red for an instant. Counterflux can't be countered by spells or abilities. Counter target spell you don't control. You may overload this for 1 blue, blue, and a red, so add 1 more mana, and counter each target spell you don't control.
So someone's storm count of however many, counter all of it.
Yep. Yeah, whirlwind denial, but can't be countered. Ashen says, Tybalt's trickery, keep with the chaos.
Sure. Evolved Trickery is 1 and a red for an instant. Counter target spell. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards, then exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card with a different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they may put the exiled cards on the bottom of their library in a random order. I've just had a really weird thought with this card.
What's that?
So, we run this. This is completely off topic, but we run this in a Dragon Approaches deck. We counter a Dragon's Approach and filter through our deck till we hit a big dragon.
Interesting.
Because you can't cast the same spell.
So, Niv Mizzet?
Maybe.
What are your thoughts on throwing in an expressive iteration? I quite liked this Prismari card. Yeah, expressive iteration. Blue and a red. Go ahead and read it off.
Sorry, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand. Put one of them on the bottom of your library. Exile one of them. Play the exile card this time. Ooh. So you get to look at 3 cards. You put one in your hand, and then one goes away, but then basically get a second card that you can play this turn.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, it seems pretty great with Yusri. Or any in general, it just seems pretty good.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that I own most of these cards and I could probably actually build this deck in paper. Or how beautiful and how much change I'm going to need to play this.
What do you mean change?
I'm going to be flipping so many coins.
Ah, yes, change. Got it. Oh, you know what we don't have here that we desperately need?
What's that?
A tribute mage.
You mean?
2 and a blue for a 2/2 human wizard When Tribute Mage enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an artifact card with mana value 2. Reveal that card, put it in your hand, shuffle your library.
Go get Croc's Thumb.
Yeah. Park's
Yep.
Thumb. Actually, let's throw some more two mana artifacts in here because we only have Dolmen's Gate. Protection for Yusri. Let's go ahead and throw in Swiftfoot Boots and Lightning Greaves. Why not?
Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves. I was also thinking
I've got 2 additional ones as well, actually, now that we're on 2 mana artifacts, now that I think about it. But go ahead.
I'm going to suggest an Arcane Signet as we're in colours.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to suggest a Thought Vessel.
Vessel?
Thought Vessel. 2 mana for the artifact that gives you no maximum hand size. Tap and add a colorless.
Yeah. What's this at 104?
If we wanted, we could also put it at Talisman of Creativity if we wanted to go that route as well. But I think Arcane Signet does it as just as fine, right?
Yeah. Talismans. I love the talismans. They're so underused. But,
yeah, Ashen. I'm not even suggesting it. Don't even worry.
No. We'll just get told off by you, Ashen, if we shove a Soul Ring in.
Yeah, we really do.
So we're at 104.
Although, you know, what's one land that I want to put in here is actually the new one that's coming out of Modern Horizons, Indestructible Artifact Land. Silver Bluff Bridge. It's a common artifact land. It enters the battlefield tapped, but it's indestructible, and it'll tap to add a blue or a red.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Some color
I
fixing.
like the fact that they're making dual lands indestructible so we can get around things that blow up lands. Not that many people do play land destruction, but nice to have the option to keep it.
Sure. What are we looking at? So we're at 105 cards.
104.
We've got 14 enchantments, 18 creatures, 15 artifacts, 15 sorceries, 35 lands. I think that's fine. 5 instants. Okay.
No, we're at
2 planeswalkers.
We're at 34 lands because I cut a extra land to fit in your land. So there's 4 cards over.
Okay. Let's see. So that's counting for the Seagate, right?
Yeah, the Seagate's at 30. Well, 35 with the Seagate.
Right. Okay. Righty. Let's see. Just looking at some cuts at this point. Any suggestions the chat wants to add in as well in case we're missing anything? Because I do believe we're missing a few things, but
well,
I'll leave that.
You say that you want to trigger his ability, flip 5 coins, and cast everything in our hand. Do remember that we are winning by just chance encounter, right?
Yep. That's one of the ways that we can get it. But we have to be able to find but we have to be able to find chance encounter, right? In order to win that way.
So many cards.
Are we drawing enough? Would be my argument.
I think so. You're running Enter the Infinite.
I mean, yes. However, again, we have to get to that, right? We have to get to that plus the Omnispell Adept at the very least. So I would argue that maybe we don't have enough card draw. Let's see what we've got as far as things of that nature, though. Because 2 cards that I'm thinking about immediately is Archmage Emeritus. Might be a good one to have just to draw cards.
Is that the Magecraft whenever you cast or copy an instance card?
Yep.
I was playing him in the league, into the 99 Precon League. I added him as an upgrade. And wow, does he go off.
Right. I mean, if we're casting a bunch of things for free, and as of right now, we're looking at 15 sorceries and 5 instants, so at least the sorceries alone will draw us 15 cards. I mean, potentially, right?
Yeah. And if Krark is going to fail the flip, which we can manipulate with Krark's Thumb, We can cast a spell and return it back to our hand.
Yep. Do it again. Absolutely. Uh, yeah, I think that that's pretty great. Um, okay. So I'm looking at our cards here, and our mana curve is about 3.84 average CMC.
Nice
Hmm.
curve. It's not like we've gone silly.
Right.
Have we got enough removal and wraths? I think with things like impulsive maneuvers and things like that, I think that people are going to be scared to attack as it is.
Yeah. Plus, we have a lot of effects that are potentially making us creatures as well, like Talran, Sky Summoner, Locust God from drawing cards.
And you've got Kalsup and Minotaur that can eventually start dealing some serious damage.
Hmm.
We've got Creepy Doll. So we've got
Yep.
plenty of ways of protecting
Getting rid of
ourselves.
some stuff, I think. Yeah.
And if the worst comes
I
to
would
us, we got
say,
Ether Flux to just zap something or someone.
tell you what, I would say let's get rid of the aggravated assault.
Oh,
Yeah, we have Morog, right?
okay, yeah. Better on a creature, I suppose.
And just from playing lands versus tapping 5 mana for it.
Seems reasonable.
Um, as much as I love multiple combat steps, I'm just trying to think of ways to do it.
Is Ether Flux really going to be that beneficial to?
Again, I mean, Yusri, multiple cards. Take it out.
Okay.
Put it in the maybe board for now.
Like, it could
Let's see how
be.
this looks.
I think it would be a slightly different build. Like, if I was going to be using Ether Flux, I'd probably build Yuzori more of a Storm
Stormy?
deck. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, I think I like the Alhammarits though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we can still do that. I think that's fine. Let's see.
And in the same instant, is Stormkiln Artist still as good? Is Bergie better?
I mean, I like both, but
Okay.
because Stormkiln also becomes +1/+0 for each artifact.
Yeah,
And
and
we
I
have
suppose his treasures.
15, 14 artifacts, and as well as Creepy Doll is an artifact, as well as, treasures will be artifacts.
That's fair. Oh, and our land.
Right. Ooh, we forgot a dockside. Do we want to put dockside?
Do we need Dockside?
Probably not.
I'm going to
Um,
put it straight to
tell you
maybe
what.
board.
Yeah, let's go to maybe board. That's fine. If you have one, throw it in. If not, you don't have to. Hmm. I have an idea.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to potentially get rid of fervor?
Sure.
No, I'm asking because I have an idea, and let me know what you think of this. It's a card I just thought of, so give me just half a second. But there we go. It's Flamekin Village.
Famekin Village.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield elemental card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tapped. Creature face to it. I suppose having it on.
A land.
Yeah. Now, would you prefer that keep further in and take out Dragon Tempest?
Oh, I like Dragon Tempest because it's 2 personally, but that's entirely up to you.
Not
What do you
all of
think?
our creatures have flying, though. That's the only issue.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, take out the Dragon Tempest, keep in Fervor. That's fine. 1 more mana, but
Yeah.
my thought process was that if we don't have Lightning Greaves or anything, it'd be on curve. Was more of my thought. You could drop the Tempest turn 2, cast Yusri turn 3, and swing.
True.
so that you're not overlapping in the mana value of Fervor and Yusri. That was my thought process, anyways.
I can understand that. I think Flamekin Village does that, so you play it turn 1.
That's assuming we have it, right?
Yeah. But that's the same
So,
as Dragon Tempest.
yep,
Assuming we have it.
right. Yeah, that's fine. We also have Lightning Greaves and we have Swiftfoot Boots potentially. So yeah, let's
Yeah.
go ahead and knock the Dragon Tempest out and keep in Fervor. I like that.
Okay, we have 2 cards to cut, and then pretty a good deck. It's chaotic. I love it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a rousing refrain or anything like that in here.
Expecting half of this. I'm so happy. Um, hey, getting to a point now where I don't know what to cut.
Oof. I've got something I might want to add actually, but
Oh
let's
no.
see what to cut first.
If you can add it if you can find something to replace it.
Sure.
So
Let's see.
what about Arc Blade? Because Arc Blade only does 2 damage. It's a good resuspend card, but I think 2 damage is not as good as, say, Browsing Reframe, Inspiring Refrain.
Sure.
Then we're down to 1.
Interesting. Okay.
We just go down to 33 lands with the other one makes it 34.
That's up to you.
There we go, done.
Uh so my thought here, right? And hear me out. We have some Magecraft stuff, right?
Okay.
No? I mean, I was just thinking of Wandering Archaic.
Hey,
Oof. Ashen, Mass Hysteria. You're crazy. Mass Hysteria is 1 red for an enchantment. All creatures have haste. Yeah,
nope.
that's crazy.
Wandering Archaic. I really like this card.
I do as well.
Okay,
And again, we have Magecraft, right? So if we're casting a spell off of Burgi, Archmage Emeritus, um, Niv Mizzet Perun also likes it. It's got some it's got some synergies. Stormkiln Artist obviously will make us treasures. Talrand will also like to make us some Drake creature tokens. So we do have some synergy here. It's not outside the realm of
what you're saying is we now need to find a cut for Wandering Archaic.
Mhm.
Okay. You make this
It's
difficult.
tough.
It
Don't get me
is.
wrong.
Like, there's so much going on, so much coin flipping, and so much. Okay, I think I know what it is. I think I'm going to say Curiosity because it's 1 card for 1 card. Like, literally, it only
Sure.
works with Niv Mizzet Perun, and I would love to keep it in, but is it worth it?
Ashen, I would rather keep Enter the Infinite and lose a infinite combo.
Yeah, infinite combos they're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
I
okay.
like it.
But yeah, if you want to go that route, put Curiosity in. For the sake of this deck, it's 1 card that triggers 1 card. I'm not so sure on this one.
Yeah, I quite like it.
And quite liking this deck.
Oh, a land suggestion that I completely forgot. Um, cut an island and let's definitely put in a Mystic Sanctuary. Mystic Sanctuary island. It comes in tapped unless you control 3 or more other islands. But when you do have those 3 other islands, then you may put a target instant or sorcery from your graveyard on top of your library.
Yeah, just incidental value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
But yeah, Mirror Marching, Omnisciencing, Enter the Infinite. Fire Emancipation. It checks all the books in my book, anyways. Checks all the check boxes everywhere.
Yeah,
Doing things I like.
I'm happy. Happy. And if anyone actually builds this, I am. Yeah, let me know how you found it, because if I remember correctly, when I was playing Zenda Split and Oaken as my commander, other than the one game that went on for 5 hours because I countered my own win con with Planar Chaos, countering Chance Encounter, bad time. It was actually really fun. Really fun. Especially that I had no idea what was going on each turn. Because
Yep.
it's all in the flip of a coin. But I'm going to build this and give it a go. And I'll come back next couple of shows and tell you how it's going.
I just had a line of thought that Tracy would like. Do you want a blood moon in here?
Oh,
Why not?
all of our utility lands get shut off.
That's okay.
Looking at you with disappointment in my eyes.
No,
And on that
it's a
note,
good idea.
on that note, if you do like more of these, you can always check us out at intothe99.com. There is a Brewing It Live section under content where all of our previous decks are, all the links, including in an hour's time this deck link. And then every Monday on YouTube, Into the 99, there'll be previous episodes going up, which as of this Monday is our Tiamat episode.
Hey, Tiamat.
Yeah, Tiamat. And if you'd like to support us, you can see our Patreon. If you'd like to support us and get some sweet, sweet merch, you can wear the 99 merch, which is also at the Into the 99 website link. And also, join our Discord if you're a patron. Come brew with us. We do this, every non-stop?
Yeah, pretty much.
Non-stop brewing.
Yeah, we do this constantly. Ooh, that spoiler looks fun. Let's build it. Let's break it.
Pretty much. I've already broken Chatterfang. But that's another deck for another day. Maybe next week.
Probably next week.
Probably. Knowing me and squirrels, it'll be next week. But otherwise, thanks very much, everybody. And we'll catch you again next week. Bye.
Bye. And you hush, Ashen. Bye.
Bye.